Hello everybody and welcome back to the Two Norries podcast. As always, I'm joined by my good friend Timmy Long.
Hi everyone.
And Roman is on the decks. And this week we've another Southsider that seems to be taking over with Garrod Morrissey and Brian Lenihan and Ty Hickey and but this one is Spike O'Sullivan, Gary O'Sullivan, boxer from Mahon. How are you keeping?
Great, James, by yourself.
Thanks a million for coming on the podcast. I'm great. So delighted to have you here. You know, I'm a fan and I follow you on Twitter.
So am I.
You've got a great relationship with your followers on Twitter, don't you?
We do, yeah.
You've a lot of engagement.
Yeah. It kind of comes simple enough to me. Like, it comes easy, and you know, sure, I'm from Mahon and working class fella, like, and Garrod Morrissey, actually, another fella, sound out.
Nice fella, yeah. Salted the up down to Mahon.
Big time, by geez. I know all his family. Garrod.
Yeah.
It actually says a lot that you interact with a lot of your followers like that. It says a lot about you as a person, you know. It says like that it doesn't matter where you are in life, that you're still yourself, you're still people's person, like you're not gone into your you're not gone too far into your ego or anything like that. You're still Spike O'Sullivan, Gary O'Sullivan, like all your neighbours and everybody in Mahon knows you, you know.
Oh, definitely. Geez, you're like, not much has changed really for me and you personally. Like, I don't feel any different to whoever did, really. Like, you know, since I was walking around the street as a teenager in Mahon, like, I still feel the same. Actually, in fact, I'm still some of my very best friends are from Mahon, like, and obviously enough. And we actually went for a walk there recently around Mahon, you know, rolling back the years. It's great, like, you know, I really enjoyed it. Like, it was brilliant. Now, we walked all our old haunts, you know, all around Mahon. They were only about 2 weeks ago, just for the kind of reminiscent.
That's brilliant.
You know, I met a few lads I used to be hanging around with from the teenage years. We've a WhatsApp group there, Old School Mahon is called, and we had great crack in it, like, and just put in a message and we all met up and had a coffee and walked around with us. Great.
I had my uncle, he's from Knocknaheeny, but he's living in Dublin years, and he was down there last summer now at this stage, and actually when we were shooting a few photographs for the promotion of this initially, when we just started it up, he was down, so we brought him in for a spin anyway, but he's in his 50s now, like, and we were up by down Nash's Boreen, down Fitzgerald's Park, the Shaky Bridge, Lee Fields, and just driving around the north side, and he had a story for every field we went into, you know, and he was with this one over here and he fought this fella down there. But you know, I love hearing the old stories and I love reminiscing you know, about the past. But can you tell me what it was like growing up in Mahon for you? And were you in boxing since you were a child?
Yeah, my father started. I seen the first pictures of myself with boxing gloves there. So must be only about 2 years of age, you know. But I kind of started training officially at about 5, like, properly with my dad. And my dad used to sit down on the mattress, and I had a gum shield and he had a pair of gloves and I had. And
was he a boxer?
My dad was a boxer as well, yeah. And he used to just, you know, get me into slipping the jab and countering him with body shots and whatnot. And I remember that to this day, like, and I joined, there was no boxing clubs in the Southside really at the time, so I joined the Glen. I predominantly boxed most of my life, like, in the north side of the city. So I was in the Glen, not the Glen that you'd be thinking of now on the hill there. There was a soldier who used to run another boxing club in the Glen as well. It was called St. Brendan's, underneath, I presume, St. Brendan's Church. It was called in the Glen there. So I started boxing there when I was about 7 and boxed there for a few years. And then I went to Belgooly actually for a while, because it was what was the best club in Munster at the time and the most competition, the best sparring, etc. And then the man that ran the club, Pat McCarthy, he got a big job offer in West Cork and he left and closed the club. So then I joined Sunnyside with Kieran Joyce and was there for years, 6-7 years.
Huge amount of history attached to that club.
There was, yeah, it's just the most successful boxing club in Cork, like, of all time. Like, Kieran went to the Olympics twice, and Paul Buttermer and his brother Gordon fought some great fighters, Roy Jones Jr. and he fought a few greats, like.
Yeah, and you know, when you were a young person coming up through the ranks, did you have a natural talent for it? Like, were you able to beat people your own size and your own age, or is this something that you grew into?
I think I had a relative among the talent. I do believe that there's numerous guys with more talent with me than me, even in Cork. A lot of Northsiders there, like, very good boxers, you know, over the years. And I think it's fair to say I probably might have been the best. I beat the majority of them, like nearly everybody really, but I think that they had more talent than me. I had a bit of talent obviously, but I think it was just with my dad's encouragement in particular, to train very hard. I trained very, very hard and trained harder, and I was more dedicated than my peers. Like, and I think that's what won the fights for me. And I really did train very hard, and I was, I put it in, like, and just more enthusiastic and more determined, I think, about it. The lads might have better skills and stuff, but I nearly beat them all. Like, really.
And it shows as well. Like, it doesn't matter how talented you are, and we've spoken about this before. It doesn't matter how talented you are, but if you're coming from a home where maybe your parents aren't able to nurture that talent or bring you training, or if you're getting caught up in drugs or trouble in school, these can all impact your performance in the rings. You know what I mean? And it's like having the talent, but having the family behind you and having that drive is a big part of it. And so many people we know, Timmy, super talented sports people from the north side and the south side, that it just got wasted in the end because they went down the wrong path. Was there ever danger of you going down the wrong path, or was the boxing the one thing that kept you kind of I suppose everybody talks about the discipline it gives you?
I think it does give you good discipline, right? And I got pretty good discipline from home, and I was just very enthusiastic about sports in general myself. I just remember I didn't have too much interest in school, really. I didn't do too badly at school, really. I packed it in after the juniors started, right? I was very eager just to work and make a few quid, but I was more interested in sports. I always just, my memory of school mostly, like, was kind of, I'd be looking out the window, like, wanting to go and play football or whatever, like, or hurling. I loved hurling as well. I just loved all sports. Like, I was just a complete sports enthusiast. So I think I was more oriented towards sport than drugs or something like that. No, I like to drink, and I still do, but I gave it up there for 13 months at one point, and it was probably the best I ever felt in my life. But I do enjoy a drink, like, and
You're a Cork man and an Irish man. We're known as probably the best drinkers in the world.
There's nothing wrong with a drink if it doesn't cause you any problems. Obviously you go periods where you're so disciplined and you're in the best shape of your life, and then you have a fight and then you're allowed to leave some steam off. Nothing at all wrong with it. If I thought I could have one or two drinks and that would be the end of it, I'd be drinking, but I can't do that. I've tried that, and it always ends up in court for some reason.
But when did people start to notice you as a real talent in boxing? What age were you when you started winning titles and stuff like that?
Like, I was boxing for Ireland. I was national champion, like, when I was a teenager, like, but there's national champions at every weight division, like, and at every age. There's numerous champions, like, loads and loads, like, so I don't think I was a complete standout fighter, like, really, like, I just, as I say, I don't think I was the most talented guy in the world. I was pretty talented, but my hard work was more sort of what kind of got me places, like.
Was there anybody at national level that was like same age or same weight coming up with you that was like a direct competitor for you?
There was a few, like, like Andy Lee was one of them. No, but he wasn't a direct competitor in that he was the same weight division as me. We were the same age, and he was there. And there's another guy, Roy Sheehan, I remember, and a guy, Eric Donovan, who I mentioned to you earlier there. He's from Kildare. He's boxing professionally now, and he's doing very well, like. And
we seen him boxing out Eddie Hearn's backyard, remember?
Yeah.
Dillian White got knocked out by Povetkin.
Was he there?
Yeah, he fought on the undercard of that.
Yeah. He's very good, like, and he's still at it, like, and he's had his trials and tribulations, like, but he's doing very well, and he's a good guy. And
we're an amazing country for producing boxing talent, aren't we?
Yeah, we're like a smaller version of Mexico, really. We have less of a population, so obviously we're going to have less fighters, but I think the Mexicans and the Irish, like. And
have you any theory why that is? I know, like, in like, we produce a lot of traveller boxers. Boxing is a big part of travelling culture. But, like, in wider Irish society, why is boxing so popular, do you think, here? We've loads of other sports as well,
I think we've got a lot of, I was actually looking at a video there, I think from around 1982 or something, in the RT archives. It was on about Mahon was actually a trial of what the houses were being built there, corporation houses.
And kind of communities, like Knocknaheeny.
Like Knocknaheeny is now, and there's numerous ones around the country now. But I think that's what the kind of working class areas, like, a lot of people, like Mahon, like where I grew up, like, my recollection of growing up, and there was a lot of street fighting going on, like, You know, a lot of it, like, and you're always kind of a bit of anxiety walking around, like, you know where your next fight's going to be, but probably in 5 minutes time, like, you know, but
you're walking around like you're on fight or flight mode constantly. The adrenaline is just ready to pump, like.
That's it. Like, so it was like, I'm sure it was like that in other parts of the country as well. And my coach Pascal Collins only tweeted something there recently, and I thought he was spot on with it. There was a couple of upsets all in one night on the boxing show. You know, there was a Venezuelan man, a Mexican man. You know, they all caused upsets. And what he was kind of alluding to was just hard backgrounds, like growing up tough times, like, you know, tough times make tough men, like, you know, and so I think that's why we have a lot of good fighters. Like you, predominantly, like the most of these good fighters come from. They're not coming from. No disrespect, like, but they're not come from Mountainatty. You know what I mean? They're from Mahon and Mayfield and you know, Knocknaheeny and whatever, you know, all sites or whatever. Like, you know, that's the thing. Like,
there's a great documentary, boxing documentaries based in America, and it's exactly what you're talking about. But in the context of America, it would be black people, and why are black people the best boxers in America? Because it's when you don't have access, or maybe when you're living in a poor family or in a derelict neighborhood or a very poor area, boxing is probably the only thing that you can actually use to make yourself rich, or for social mobility, to move out of that area into a nicer house. And that's why in the documentary they were looking at what's that super middleweight? He was a champion in prisons, and then he was Bernard Hopkins.
Bernard Hopkins. I know Bernard well,
he's started boxing. He was boxing and he was locked up. He was doing a sentence. He was in the gangs and stuff, and he started winning prison championships. And then when he got out, he's like a Hall of Famer now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he gives great input. He says, like, fellas like me, he says, all we could do was box. You know what I mean? We're not going to college. You know what I mean? We don't have any money like that. So that's kind of, it's the same here in another kind of way. But it's always fellas from tough backgrounds, you know. And I remember on Joe Rogan, Mike Tyson was on Joe Rogan. Mike Tyson's son was in training, and he was saying that he was to Mike Tyson, he wants to fight, and Joe says, you going to let him fight? Mike says, no way. He says, I said to my son, he says, you've never wanted for nothing in your life. He says, you've grown up in a mansion with a pool out the back. He says, you're going to come into the ring against somebody like me, no parents, been in and out of prison all his life, and he's going to murder you.
It's a good point, though. It's really putting it into, like, that's the best example you could really give. You know, Tyson grew up in Harlem or whatever, Mag place over in fucking New York.
New York City.
And like, you're going up against some guy that's coming from a different area altogether and just took boxing up. Like Mike Tyson at the age of 18, 19 years of age was probably, like, I would walk into a machine gun battling faster than walking into him. Like, man was just ferocious, and he had power behind him as well. Like,
but it's the eyes, his eyes before the fight. No, his demeanour. People was afraid of him. Like, he was fighting for his life. Whereas if a fella, he's coming from a middle class neighbourhood, that he's a nice home and everything, right? He likes boxing, and fair play to him, might be good. Like, you don't have that fire or that desire, you know. And like, you know, when you were growing up and you were, when did it dawn on you that this was going to be how you were going to earn your bread and butter, and you weren't going to go for a regular job? This was going to be your life and your career.
Well, no, in fact, I actually done an apprenticeship. I'm a sheet metal worker by trade. Brilliant. Which is a good job. I qualified, done it for 8-9 years.
Not easy to walk away from a stable income, so like.
I didn't exactly walk away from it. It's a bit of a complicated situation, but you know, job came to an end anyway, and you know, it was blessings, guys. But I ended up with feck all, like, in the end. Then, like, fellas had more on the door, had more money than me, and I had to chat with my coach Pascal, like, and I said, like, I got the bus up and down to Dublin there for good 8-9 years, like, and the trains, I used to come out up and down by the train, get the bus. I had a penny, nothing, like, and it was embarrassing, actually, you know, because I had a kid and a partner and all that, and I'd fuck all, like. But, you know, one of my favourite sayings is, like, what you're referring to here about these guys, you know, myself, hunger is a great sauce, you know. When you need to win these fights to get it. My kind of, where I broke into the big time was when I was victorious in Quebec in Canada against Antoine Douglas, and, you know, I got the contract from Golden Boy Promotions with Bernard Hopkins, and you know, that was where I made my breakthrough with a very late stage. I think I was about 33, I think, around that, like, you know.
That was around 2017.
2017, yeah, 4 years ago, so 32.
It was a great fight.
It was December, I was 33. Yeah, it was a great fight, for me.
He was a good fighter.
Very good fighter, yeah. He was, yeah. Like, he was tipped to beat me, but I was the Bucky's underdog, and but I trained again, like, I'm roll back the years there, like, I trained like an absolute psychopath for that fight. Like, I used to be thinking in my mind, like, I used to be up running up the hill, the freezing cold here in Cork, like, up by the airport there. I used to sprint up Matthew Hill, and it'd be raining, sometimes I'd be in the shorts, be fucking cold, and but I used to be just thinking to myself, there's your man now over wherever he is, like some nice part of America, which he was, training some lovely place, hot weather, fucking probably out in his bloody lovely shorts and his top off with his 8-pack, and here I was fucking running up this hill here in freezing Cork, like, and I used to actually climb up a pole then as well. It was just a bit of a mad streak there, like, but I was thinking, there's no way he's going to be doing this, like, just climb up the pole, I'd hang out the pole, you know, just a few knee raises from my stomach, like, and you know, I was thinking to myself, I was doing all that, like, when I get in the ring, I was visualising it, like, when I get in the ring and look across at him, there's no way he was doing this. And that's exactly what I thought. When I got into the ring that night, he's big, fucking strong, fit fucker, like, younger than me, bigger. I think he was about 12 years younger. He was 23, I was 35, like, and no one kind of gave me a chance, like, but I said, I knew I was going to win, like, and I just looked across from him, like, and I was just, that's exactly what I thought to myself. Because I was, many nights I was wrecked tired after training earlier in the day, like, I used to always specifically do it at night when I was tired, and I used to always just put my shorts and my t-shirt on the bed, like, and I'd be kind of wanting to get into the bed. I put the shorts on and t-shirt, and I'd go over and I'd fly up the hill, like, and I'd be a killer, like, but I was saying, I'm going to make it work, it's going to pay off, and it did, like. And I had something in my mind as well, I had no vehicle right now. I said, I'm going to buy some nice car or this win, like, and then I knew if I beat him, I get a contract golden buy, and I used to be thinking about buying a house and all that then, like, you know.
What kind of pressure are you under? Or are you completely calm going into that fight? Like, there's a lot riding on that fight.
There's a lot riding on the fight, there's a lot of pressure that way, like, but I'm very relaxed. I've learned to be relaxed because actually in the amateurs I underachieved for my ability, I believe, like, and for how hard I trained. And what used to happen was I'd be too anxious about losing, you know. I'd be worrying about losing too much, and I get into the ring, I'd become tired immediately.
The energy is gone.
I could be so fit, like, I would bet my bottom dollar like I'd be fittest in the whole place, fitter than all the fighters, but my energy began to be too nervous just of losing, not of the fight. I was never afraid of the fight, I never was, like, ever, never in my life. But so I had to train myself to overcome that, and I had to have a meeting with myself, as I like to say. I said, if I can't get a handle on this nervousness, I just have to pack it in, like. And I eventually just got to the other side of it. In fact, I was so relaxed in Vegas when I fought Lemieux, got knocked out in, I don't know, 94 seconds or something, but I was too relaxed.
I thought that fight was going to go the other way.
I did as well, like,
you could have done that to him easily, like.
Maybe not in the same fashion. I think he's a bigger puncher than me. I think he's the biggest puncher in the whole division. Plus, he was 18 or 19 pounds heavier.
Probably one of the biggest punchers in history, really.
I believe so, yeah. Well, I was told, actually, when I was in Quebec, he's from Canada. He was fighting Billy Joe Saunders that night, the night I fought in their undercard against Douglas. Funnily enough, we were with some associate of Lemieux's. I think he was his ex-manager or something. That he was our chauffeur, and he was gone from Lemieux, but he'd no reason to talk him up. But he was telling us, he was like, he's unbelievable hitter. He hits harder than Golovkin or Lemieux or Canelo, and he could knock out Saunders, but Saunders is just unbelievably slick and just boxed the ears off him, like. And I actually spoke to Billy Joe Saunders the night before the fight. As you know, we were always good friends, and we fought and we sparred many times and all. And he said to me, just look, I tested out his power. Billy Joe is so good. He's that good. He actually sampled his power just on his arms just to see how good how hard he actually hits. He said to me, he hits like fucking hard, man. He said, don't get caught. Ride it out. Be careful. First 4 or 5 rounds, he gasses out, and then you'll box the head off him, like, right? But he just caught me, like. But I was so relaxed. I just thought I was 100% going to win that fight. And I went to sleep for not a second, but although it was just margins. Like I threw the jab, I hit him with it, and my right hand as I jab moved over a small bit, and he just it was actually protecting part of my face, like, but his hook just came in around the back, hit me on the cheekbone, and glanced onto my nose. The force was so great, it glanced off. The blow that actually concussed me was on my cheekbone, but there was so much force, it skidded onto my nose and broke my nose as well.
Is that the hardest punch you ever took?
Oh, definitely. Well, I would say so, although in saying that, as they say, is the one that you don't see coming is the one that knocks you out, like, and I didn't see it coming, and I was focused. I was at landing the jab, and I was concentrating on delivering my right, and I didn't see it coming. But I've always had a great chin. I've been caught. Eubank caught me with several great shots, and he's a hard puncher, and he hurt me a few times, but he didn't concuss me that I felt like I was going to knock over. But I always felt like I had a very good chin.
Yeah, I remember that Eubank fight. Like you took a few heavy shots. Like, but you weren't going anywhere.
No, I got a good chin. And I had this discussion actually with my ex-gym mate, Luke Keeler, and he got knocked out himself by a guy called Tom Doran, and I had a discussion with him after the fight. I said, Luke, fucking hell, like, he was like, oh, Spike, the one thing I had above all else, speed, fitness, whatever, he said, was a good chin, but he got knocked out, and he said he couldn't believe it, and I feel the same, and that I've been knocked out. It was a humbling experience, and it just goes to prove, like, seriously, Mike Tyson getting knocked out or whatever, like, anyone can be knocked out, like, and
especially at that level.
Yeah,
you're fighting the best of the best. Like, you've only ever been beaten by world champions.
Yeah.
How do you respond to a bad defeat like that? Like, what kind of mental state are you in afterwards? Like, it's devastating. Obviously, you have to work so hard, and
yeah, it's a bit annoying, like, because you've worked so hard and prepared for it, like, and you've been away from the family for weeks preparing for it much. Like, that's what pisses me off most. Have kind of failed. I feel like I failed because I wasted my time almost being away. I could have just trained at home and lost anyway. That's kind of that's my attitude when I'm in training camp. I want to win so much because if I'm going to lose the fight, like, I could have just stayed at home and done a few jogs and done a bit of punch bag out the back and just prepared at that and lost the fight anyway. But I go to Dublin and I spar hard and I prepare hard to the best of my ability, and I really want to win. I made that sacrifice away from my family worth it, So that's the part. But it's okay. When I got knocked out, like, Lemieux, it was grand. Like, I was happy enough after, like, in a way that I had got the money to buy my family a home, which was a dream for me. And after the Eubank fight, like, I didn't feel so bad either, and I think he was far more motivated than me in that fight because there
was a lot of tit for tat going on.
Well, there wasn't too much tit for tat. I was the instigator, like, in that particular fight.
You had to get him going, really.
I did, like, I antagonised him, and I was the one that acted the bollocks, like, and I chased him to get the fight. The reason being now was I knew it would be a big payday, and to provide for my family, that was my primary goal, so I antagonised him to get the fight, and I thought I could win the fight, but I was proved wrong, and I nearly knocked him out as well. Like,
the whole city stopped for that fight. In Ireland, like, everybody was cheering you on, like, you were the proudest. Yeah. Like, every Cork
movie came out around that time as well, didn't it?
No, the film only came out there in 2019.
Oh,
actually,
was it? Yeah.
That was great, actually. Terry McMahon,
The movie was brilliant. The documentary, like, It's the hardest thing about being a professional boxer, the time away from your kids and your wife.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely, without doubt. Well, like, the training is very hard. There's not much easy about it, to be quite honest. Now, it's a tough gig, but the rewards have been good for me.
Yeah.
I got the house and got a car, and I got my mum a car, and I got Selena a car, like, and so it's been great, like, really. But it's been hard work, like.
Yeah. And like for every Spike O Sullivan, there's 1,000 young fellas that won't get them rewards, Oh,
jeez, I said there's a million. So that's the truth. Like, it's very low percentage, less than 1%, like, that get, fortunate like I have, and doesn't necessarily mean you're better than them at all. Like, just to get the breaks and
Yeah.
There's one thing about it though, right? If you're a young fella that has this complete determination and belief that you're going to be a world champion someday, you will become a world champion, like.
Yeah, I believe I'm 36 now, and I still believe I will become world champion. Like, and I truly believe that, and I think I will, and maybe this year actually, because we have plans in the pipeline there. I'm going to Belgium on the 20th of this month, less than 2 weeks' time, and they're going to do a bit of commentary. Actually, be live on Facebook. And there's a couple of my gym mates there, Craig O'Brien, Niall O'Connor, Ray Milet, Niall Kennedy.
I've seen Ray Milet fighting Norries.
He's some balls. He's a gutsy fucker. Like, you know, I tell you, geez, he fought in TG Car. I commentated on that one as well.
Yeah, that's right.
I just laughed at your man, Sean Bond. He's the Australia. Like, I'm not so great myself. Very poor actually, but. He said one stage there, I think it was Ray anyway, or else it was one of the lads in our gym. They got caught with a good punch, like, and I said, "Oh fuck," you know, can't tell you. And Sean Bond is like, "Oh Jesus, Spike's French is coming out," you know. Jesus.
When I'm at home and I'm watching a fight or anything on the telly or whatever it may be, I'd be dancing around the front room with the dance, you know.
I was like that now there recently. My friend Niall Kennedy there, he's from Exford. He was fighting a guy called Alan Babic the Savage, who was this big massive reputation of being the Savage, blah blah blah. No, he's a tough fucker, like, but I thought Niall had the ability to beat him, like, but it didn't go right on the night for Niall. He just kind of didn't perform, and Jesus Christ, I was watching the fight with my coach from the Mardyk, like, you know, and he never watched a boxing match with me before, but like I usually as mad as this, like, but it was a great opportunity for Niall, and Niall Kennedy, like, I really like him, like, you know, I really wanted to win.
Yeah.
I said to my coach, like, Jesus, I nearly blew his telly out the window. So, I swear to God, now he's like, go on for fucking Niall, you know. Oh, man, it's frustrating.
And the reason I'm laughing is because I'm visualising it now in my head, because I'd be the exact same. My wife would be looking at me and say, "Where's this mad bastard? Where's this mad fella going?"
Especially when it's
somebody. What the fuck is going on there? Like, he's.
Especially when it's somebody Irish that's fighting. Fucking hell, I probably have more anxiety than you know. And watching Conor McGregor and the same with any Irish boxers, you know, you feel very heavily invested in it.
You're completely attached to it emotionally. Like, you're everything. You're in the moment with you, Conor McGregor, whatever. What was your man's Collins?
Steve Collins.
Collins. Like, we were always there with him. We were always with him in the ring. Yeah. Maybe not there physically, but we were there in spirit.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because that's one thing about the Irish people. We do follow our own with everything we have.
Do you know, that's one thing I actually think of there as well. Do you ever read the book The Secret?
Yeah.
You know, about the universe, like, and they swear and tell people willing you to win, like, you know.
Yeah. The law of attraction,
I feel like that as well. I think there's a lot of love and support for me, and I genuinely feel that, and I believe it, and I think it's going to help me to achieve my goal, like.
Most definitely, yeah.
So, you know, I kind of more so than for myself, really. What I kind of dream about really is my kids. Like, I like my kids to be able to say, like, you know, I always thought that's always something that really truly inspired me. It was like you know, I used to get the bus up and down Dublin for years and the trains and whatnot, and I used to meet loads of women on the train and be chatting to them or whatever, like, you know, and they'd all be saying, like, they'd always kind of come around to saying, well, my dad was shoemaker, my dad used to be a podcast fella, whatever, you know what I mean? And what I'd like for my kids when they're on the train journey or on the bus, like, in years to come, say, well, my dad was champion of the world, like, you know, so it's something nice, I'd love from be able to say, like, you know.
That's unbelievable. Like.
Yeah.
And looking at you, look so young.
I know,
so young, like, for what? What age?
I'm 36. I
36,
tell you, lads,
like.
to be sponsorship, if we hear this now, Specsavers. Throw them the show the
this podcast is brought to you by Specsavers.
Somebody asked me there during the week, I won't mention who it is in case they don't want me to. They says, what do you put on your face? And I says, I could put on a day and night cream from the body shop, you know. We were home, my wife was next to me when I was being asked the question on social media, and I just, like, I kind of felt like saying, just the two of us were sitting in the kitchen in stitches, you know what I mean? Just because somebody noticed the glow on my face because of the cream, you know. But it'd be nice now for the body shop to give start giving it for nothing, but
you look healthy, like, for 60 years of age, like.
Do you know what? I feel probably better now, and I'm 40 than I possibly ever did in my life. Because Number one, I would have never known how I felt because I had no awareness about life. But, you know, being away from all these chemicals and alcohol and even my mental health, and I'm not as stressed as I would have been before, constantly in the fight or flight mode, I just feel nice and relaxed and calm, you know, and I still have to deal with my daily kind of bits and pieces, you know, some stuff comes up for me and I still have to deal with it. But you know what, in general, I really, really have a good life. And it's not because I have loads of money or anything like that, it's because I really feel good in myself, you know, and I got a lot of gratitude for things. At the moment, I'm just starting my own business. I was at one stage, and I wasn't. I was going with a construction firm. Now I'm back doing it again, you know. And people have been very, very good to me of late, you know, and helping me out. You know, there's like James there from McCarthy Insurance. Like he helped me out with construction insurance quote, and McCarthy Insurance looked after me. And just other people like have just phoned me up and saying to me like we've a job here, you might be interested in doing that, you know. And I want to start employing people like ourselves, like me and James are coming from.
It's the law of attraction, what Spike was on about, like, because you're so well in yourself, you're attracting all the people want to help you out because they say, no, what, Timmy's doing something good there for the community. Timmy's a good guy, we're going to help him out. Spike comes across really well. He's a family man, he engages with his fans, he's grounded. I wish him the best of luck, you know. It's like people don't like fucking arrogant people. No.
That's what it's about. It's just about Spike is just about, listen, for years we were fucking a nuisance to our community. We were causing trouble or involving criminality or getting stoned around the place, but now we're trying to do what we can for anybody that needs it and asks for a bit of help in any way we can, you know.
Of course, yeah.
You're both looking very well as well, like, you know, I must say that now, you know.
Me a small bit better.
That's for me. That's for me,
I'm actually back lifting weights for the last few weeks. I'm trying to plan.
Yeah, you look strong. You still lose the belly.
It's actually, you know what? It's actually so hard to lose the belly. It's fucking stubborn. No, if you're not like dedicated, I find it's around my trunk.
Do you know the key is right when you are like that? You're on the healthy living buzz and whatever, and you're saying, "Why isn't the belly?" When you start thinking like that, just ignore it, keep going. Shortly after that, the belly starts to shrink.
Do you know when I get near the goal, I abandon it?
Yeah. But the key is to keep going. Do you know, it's a pattern that you probably have in your life.
Make the slip doesn't have to be a catastrophic slip. It can be a day and then get back on the saddle.
Exactly.
What way is your diet?
Yeah, fairly good there. I'm actually with a crowd called Gym Nutrition there in Dublin. They give me all my meals, like, but they have them for last good few fights, you know, top notch food, like very, very good, like, you know, so that helps a lot.
Do you know when you're doing a lot of training, are you consuming a lot of calories?
I kind of have to cut down, like, to be honest, because it's making weight, like.
Yeah,
you know,
is that a hard aspect to your career?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. You cook your own food now, Spike, don't you?
I do all the time. I'm always cooking. I was cooking there now. I got lovely steak and onions and mushrooms, poppers, and
that's the job.
You know, treating myself with no cheat meal kind of from the Gym Nutrition one.
But I ham. Yeah, I was off meat for about 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm only recently on it for the last 4 weeks, I'd say, James might. And my wife made a boiled dinner today.
Nice.
Cabbage and turnip for anyone that's lives in abroad. Remember the old turnip and cabbage and
lovely.
And the ham. It's
hard to beat.
You can't. I missed all that.
Yeah, you would.
Know? But it's since I started eating meat again, I'm after losing the weight.
Yeah, interesting.
Because there's more protein. You see, I was
eating less carbs.
Yeah, less carbs.
I was eating all these vegetarian foods, vegetarian sausages, burgers, and different things like that. There was a lot of carbs in them, but I was eating them because I thought, should I not eating this? No, I'll eat this. But there was no protein in them, just a load of carbs. But now I'm back and eating meat. But I'm not overdoing it either, you know. I'm still eating very, very healthy. And I'm doing a bit of exercise.
Yeah, you look at it.
Yeah, so overall healthy today.
Yeah. But just to bring it back to your boxing, can I ask you about your power? You've probably the hardest punch I've seen. You know, it's like, are you completely confident that going in against, I suppose if I had that right hand, I'd be very confident that no matter who I'm fighting, I can end the fight at any moment. Do you always...
Yeah, I guess I can. Yeah, I can do it. Actually, in fact, I'm right-handed, but I've ended more fights with my left hand. I punch it both very hard. A very hard puncher, right? Like, which is a very good thing. And my coach always said to me, like, you could be 11 rounds down. You could be outpointed for the 11 rounds, but you might knock him out in 12. With the kind of power you have, you always have a chance.
And is that a natural power you have?
I was born with it, but obviously I developed it, and I've trained hard all my life and eaten fairly well. Like, I suppose, like, that enhances the power. Like,
You improve it as well, don't you?
Yeah, improve technique as well, and practice over the years. And actually, I think the whole of 2020, like, I got a punch bag. It took a couple of months for it to arrive, actually, with the whole bloody COVID situation. But I had no punch bag for a while. But maybe that was a blessing in disguise too. I 2 bursts of eardrums actually in my last fight, so it took me a while to recover from that. And I don't know, I enjoyed the break. You know, it was great. I tell you, 2020 was probably the best year of my life, even though I'd only done one fight. Like, I loved it. Like, I never got to spend so much time all my life with my kids. Like, geez, my missus now works 4 days a week in the chemist, like, but I was at home every day with the kids. Like, I loved it.
Yeah, that's
brilliant.
brilliant.
Like, I was that.
You get to know him too, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, you would. I'd be very close to him, like, but you know, just the whole time we were baking and we had lots of fun, like.
Yeah.
You know,
That sounds beautiful.
I know,
it was, yeah.
No, it's great.
Right.
You know, and you know what? I've no kids, right? But I've 2 dogs, and
2 man dogs.
If we went back to normal in the morning, my dogs wouldn't know what to do, like, because they're so used to us being at home, you know.
Yeah.
And for them to go back out the back 9 to 5, like, Jesus Christ. But there's good aspects to being at home, and there's positive aspects to the lockdown. But then the negative, obviously, is the gyms, especially, you know, not having that outlet. But you do, because you're an elite athlete.
Yeah, we're an elite athlete, so I have to go to I can go to Dublin, like, to train my boxing gym, like, Pascal's gym.
When you're training for a fight, do you stay in Dublin too?
I do, yeah.
Up in Pascal's gaff?
No, I stay in a hotel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some hotels open for business.
There's loads of them open. I stayed in City West there for about 8-9 years. I'm friends with a lot of the staff there, like, but they're actually closed down now, kind of, as such, because the government took them over for the COVID. So I'm staying out in the Carlton Hotel there now in Lanchestown. It's great. They're very nice there as well, and they're leaving me open. They open the gym privately for me, the whole gym. So I have the whole gym to myself. And
That's fantastic.
Yeah. For the general public, it's not open or whatever. But they gave me. They said that I could because of the fight. Like,
that's the job.
That's great. 'Cause I need to train 2 or 3 times a day. Like,
Do you know, if you were a magic wand and you 3 fights left, who would your 3 opponents be?
Jeez, well, whoever's world champion at light middleweight anyway. I'd like a rematch with Lemieux as well before I retire. I believe that I'd beat him. You know, I believe that it was I'm not going to go so far as to say it was a fluke punch, like, it kind of was, but, like, he's been throwing those great punches for years, and I mean, he threw it, he landed it, he kind of wasn't even looking. Actually, if you see the shot, like, he was kind of looking this way, and I hit him. But I'd like to fight him again. I think I'd beat him. Like, for example, McGregor's last fight, he fought that guy Poirier. You know, he beat him convincingly in the first fight pretty quickly. You know, but he got beaten in the rematch, and I believe it'll be the same between me and Lemieux. And I was actually thinking about that whole scenario whilst Poirier was preparing for the McGregor fight. I was thinking, like, what's in his head now? Like, you know, how was he feeling about it over what happened in the first fight? And I thought to myself, like, I'd be delighted to fight Lemieux again. I'd have no question, no qualms over it. Like, I believe I'd beat him. Yeah. I think I'd actually destroy him.
Yeah, I think you would too.
Yeah.
What's the possibility of a fight like that?
Well, I'm going to concentrate first. Like, I want to become, first and foremost, I want to become world champion. So my weight division now is like middleweight. Like, Lemieux has gone up to super middleweight. He struggles to even make that, but I'd go up the weight, but, like, to meet him again. Just lift a bit more weights and just be that weight, like, rather than the time I fought him. I had the longest training camp in my career, about 13 weeks, and I was walking around on weight at middleweight, but I'm too small for middleweight anyway, really. But I done a bit too much cardio, and I was bang on middleweight, like, so I was walking around literally. When I weighed in, I actually getting into the ring that night, I was 161 pounds, which is only a pound over the weight division. Like, Lemieux was 179 pounds, 18 pounds heavier than me in the night, like.
You're at a disadvantage straight away when you're going up a weight. Like.
Yeah, Roy Jones is doing the commentary on the fight. He said it's a cruiserweight against a middleweight. Like, he's like 3 weight divisions above me, like, in the ring.
Yeah,
you know.
Who's the elite at your weight class at the moment?
one of the Charlo brothers are twins there from New York. I think that I heard he's going moving up to middleweight soon, so I'm not sure. Like,
Yeah, that's who you would have your eye on. Would you have to have? Do you need to pick up 1 or 2 wins in the meantime to put yourself back in contention?
I do, yeah, and I will.
Yeah.
When's have you anything lined up?
Yeah, end of April, I think I'm going to have a fight in Unk soon, you know. That's what we're kind of talking about at the moment. You know, I'm going to Belgium there for on the 20th of March, and I think I'm going to return there to the same place and fight myself at the end of April, as far as I know. Like, but it hasn't been announced yet, and I think that's where my coach is negotiating at the moment. Like.
They don't give you much time between announcing it and the fight actually happening.
Yeah, but I've been in training camp there the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm helping Craig O'Brien. I'm sparring with Craig. He's fighting on the 20th of March, so I'm sparring him for his preparation, and when he's finished his fight, providing all goes well for him, he's going to come back and help me.
Yeah. Do you know what I was thinking about when you were talking there about do you know, just being able to tell your kids, you know, that you're a world champion? Do you know Michael Bisping? He's from Manchester.
I do, yeah.
UFC middleweight.
I don't know him personally, but I know of him. Like,
he comes across like a genuine fella. Anyway, I like him. He's tough out. He's working class. Like ourselves, a lot of, and he's only from Manchester. But he was on Joe Rogan. Oh, again, this like Joe Rogan needs to be paying me at this stage. I keep on mentioning his podcast. But so one of the days, no Joe Rogan will say Spike was on the Tone Norries podcast.
Why not?
But he was talking.
You never know, I'm sure.
Yeah, you never know. Like, you know, we put no limits on any of it.
No.
But Michael Bisping was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he was a middleweight, and he'd had a couple of title fights and fought at the elite and kind of just come short a couple of times.
Yeah.
And he was in training, not training for a fight, but keeping him in shape, you know, that and waiting maybe something will happen. And the middleweight champion, there was a fight scheduled. The fighter pulled out because of an injury, got a phone call. It was a rematch against Luke Rockhold, and he went in and knocked him spark out and became middleweight champion and retired. He says, that's all I wanted to do. I just want to be middleweight champion. I want the belt home to my kids, and that was it. Everything I'd worked for was realised in that moment. But you never know what's around the corner.
Never know. No, I just, as I said, the book, The Secret, like, you know, and yeah, I believe that I will become world champion, like, and it could be like that, you know. I'll be ready, and I get the call, and, you know, I was kind of tipping away as such, you know, and you know, I just believe it's my destiny, and I'll get there.
You read The Secret. Is there any other things you do to keep your mental state on point as well as your physical shape? Just stay away from alcohol for the most part, I suppose.
Yeah, when I'm in training camp, I would, like, I'd have to, like, you know, like, for a couple of weeks anyway.
Yeah.
I read another book I liked, actually, was The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I thought it was a good book too. You know, about, you know, not going astray and just following your journey, like, keep going, like.
Yeah.
You seem like a very calm person anyway, in general. You come across as a really calm energy.
I am, yeah, for the most part, like, I am, like,
yeah.
So I think a lot more calm now than I was when I was younger, like, became calmer, like, you know, and I'm kind of comfortable enough now as well, like, which makes things easier, like, you know.
You seem content.
Very content.
Yeah, very settled in yourself, like.
Yeah, I am, yeah.
It's a great place to be.
It is, right?
Do you know, being in front of thousands, 20,000 people in a boxing match, you know, and just looking around, does being in positions like that actually help you to become more confident and, you know, like, say for instance, you don't get anxious anymore, or you don't say, oh, am I in the right spot here, or should I be here? Do you have that full belief now that you deserve to be here?
I believe I'm good enough, to be in all these places. Like, definitely. I know that. I don't think I know it. Like, you know, that I belong there and I can do it and I can fight these guys for sure. And but I enjoy it. Like, it's great to get there. Like, you know, and geez, I was fighting the Glen there in front of half a dozen people some nights. Like, and to be fighting in these places, like, it's a dream come true, you know. And it's amazing. And I just kind of take it in. I'd be very relaxed and calm and just enjoy it, like, you know.
Do you ever get overawed by an occasion?
Do you know what? Now, the only one that ever kind of got me a bit now, like, do you know, I admit it, like, was the Eubank fight, because the reason being was a big fan of his dad, still am. Do you know, I like him, like, and I think his dad's a great character, like, I've always liked him, and I used to watch him growing up. all his fights, you know. And I went. It's the first professional fight I ever attended. Actually, was 1995, Parky Queeve. Steve Collins, Chris Eubank, like I was actually going for Eubank, like it's probably the only Irishman they're going for, but I was a big fan. I was only 11 years of age, like, and you know, I'm very good friends with Steve now, and his brother's my trainer, and you know, we laugh.
How the world works out.
Yeah, we laugh about no, like, you know, but like, when I fought Eubank, like, I remember I used to watch every fight sitting on the couch with my dad, like, and you know, the fucking crowd was brilliant, like, Eubank, you know, and then I was fighting his son. And it was in the O2 Arena in London. It was 20,000 people at the fight, like. And I remember at one point in the fight, like, I think he might have been getting on top of the fight, and they were like, "You bang!" The crowd. I was like, it brought me back to the fucking couch. Yeah. But my dad, I was like, "This is fucking my dream, and here is this fucking happening?" Like, you know,
unreal.
It was
unreal.
Yeah, it was.
Jeez, to be brought back into a moment like that, you know.
Honest to God,
because
no, like,
I believe it 100%. It's because of the chant, like it brings you back.
It was the loudest chant I ever heard when I was fighting. Yeah. When I fought in Neptune, actually, there was a man, I think he was a caretaker or whatever of the Neptune Stadium since it opened. And I was up actually playing bingo one night with my missus, my mother-in-law, and my mother. And I was fucking sick of the bingo. Like I said, look, I'll go up to the chipper there by Procol Hall and I get you a bag of chips, girls, like what you want, whatever, blah, blah. And up to the chipper anyway, and bumped into this fella. I didn't know who he was. He was Spike, yeah. I'm the caretaker or whatever. It's down below in Neptune since whatever year low up, and I can't remember the year, no, whatever he said, 85 or something like that. He goes, I tell you, I was there for every event, but I never heard noise like it by the night you came out to the ring, you know. Yeah. Just low there, but nothing compared to the O2 in London, like massive crowd, like. That's some achievement.
What's it like walking out to thousands of fans screaming?
That night, no, like in a couple of other nights, like as well, but like I like to stand there and just look around, like, cause you know, it was the stuff I watched on telly growing up. Now as a young fella, like my dad, like we always watched boxing, like throughout my life, and. Jeez, it's great to be there, like, and actually, I was saying, geez, just so as home, no, watch me on the telly doing this, like, you know, and it's great to, like, to do what I dreamt of. I was lucky, like, I feel very fortunate, like, you know, but I worked hard for it, like, I did work hard for it, I was dedicated enough, but I had my times off as well. I didn't box there for 5 years at one point, like. Oh yeah, I was running Lochmahan boxing up with my mum and dad. Were running it, like, and I was kind of the coach with them, and my brother was not that, like, but I wasn't doing very much boxing a lot myself, you know. I was doing more drinking and playing soccer and all that, like, and just coaching people. I used to tip away and do a bit of bag, but not near enough, like, you know, for 5 years, like.
And why was that? Did you just fall out of love with it, or?
I had a kid at 19, and I was doing my apprenticeship, and I had another kid at 23. Like, and it's kind of.
I think you lost ground. Like in them 4 or 5 years, maybe you could have achieved the heights that you got to maybe at a younger age, and lifts and butts really.
Maybe not, like, you know, I might have been ready, and might have been physically as strong as I was when I was 23 when I did become a professional, and everything for a reason. I was just talking there, Timmy, with that earlier on there when we were having a coffee outside, like. You know, no, I think whatever is kind of destined for you, it's destined for you, like, and
you can't have any regrets, like, you know what I mean? Been good to you.
That's it, like, no, yes, just.
I suppose when kids come on and Spike too, you're responsible for them, you have to provide for them, you know, and sometimes your dream has to be put at the standstill, and to give time to them and to be able to provide for them, and you know, I can completely understand what you're saying there, but then the passion for it probably came back in again, and look at it now.
I always kind of had a passion for it, like, you know, but I was in the gym, and I was, as I say, I never completely out of boxing. Like, we opened up Rowan Boxing Club at 18, like when I was 18, like my mother and father up at Lochmahan, and it was a very successful, like, club and all, and we'd 13 or 15 national champions in the 10 years we had the club. Then from work class area down in Mahon, like, and we had some great fighters down there, but you know, I just wasn't really competing myself so much, really, like. I was more coaching and, you know, probably fucking having a few points at the weekend and playing soccer and all that, like, you know. But how that happened, then how I actually became professional was kind of a fluke, really, I suppose. I decided like boxing the All-Irelands again, and I did, and then I was about 22 at the time, 23 years around that, and there's a guy called Billy Walsh from St. Coleman's, Shanagarry direction. He was out in America boxing, and my coach, Pascal Collins, was his coach, and they decided to bring Billy back to Cork for a night to fight, like, and they were looking for an amateur in Cork, like kind of a good amateur, the best amateur, whatever, that would attract the crowd basically and turn professional. And I wasn't really taking boxing too serious anyway, like. So I got a call from Pascal, like, said, would you become a professional, would you have pro fight, like? I said, fuck, it'd be great, like, I loved it. I thought at the time, like, oh jeez, I remember thinking, like, I'll have a pro fight now, it's great, like, you know, if everyone will know I was a pro boxer, like, that's what I was thinking, like, stupid kind of, like, yeah. So I just thought I'd have the one fight and that was it, like, and that's the way it kind of worked out. I had one fight, then he called me up about 2 months later. He said, come here, will you fight over in Boston? I said, Boston? Jesus Christ. Yeah, a few said I was fighting fucking Tyson Fury, and I said, yeah, grand, just to get the boss, because I'd never been in America, like, and none of my family were either. And I was like, fucking right, I will, let's go off to Boston anyway for the fight. Sure, I won over there, and that was great, like, I think I knocked him out in 1 round actually, and then fuck, it was great, and came back then and just took the next fight, we had a fight in Dublin, right, grand, won that fight, and just kind of went on there fight by fight, like, there was no plan.
Yeah, just happened.
Really, like, just all happened, like, yeah.
That's brilliant. It's a brilliant story. Like, you know, because
we never had a contract either. No, we said in Pascal, like, just thought it was a handshake. Like, he knows me. Like, I'm kind of grand. Like, I wouldn't be acting about it. Like, I just, you know,
turn up and knock them out. That's it.
Okay. Like, you know, some most fellas know we locked into a couple of year contract.
Yeah.
We obviously just had a handshake, that was it, like.
He seems like a nice fella, Pascal.
Pascal's salt of the earth,
There's a lot of bad blood in boxing at the moment.
There is.
A lot of bad negativity around, you know, contracts and stuff that we won't get into here, like, you know. So it's great to have that relationship, you know.
Yeah,
it's probably unique in the sport today.
Boxing, like, is corrupt sport, like, and there's a lot of corruption in boxing, like, you know, throughout the decades, like, and it's never any different, really, like, but, you know, Pascal's a sound old skin, like, you know, genuine fella, like.
Yeah, no, he comes across like that too.
Do you know of any raw talent that's coming up in the youths or young fellas that are coming on that should be mentioned because they're real potential?
Well, like, there's one guy now, just kind of like in our gym there, Niall O'Connor, like, he's 28, like, he's a slow burn, like, it's hard to get the fights with current circumstances in Ireland, like, particularly, like, and there's no pro fights in Ireland for the last couple of years, and unfortunately for Niall, like, and I've been fortunate to be based in America, but Niall is getting a fight now in Belgium on the 20th. I think he's he reminds me of Canelo. He's a foxy fucker as well, like, big, and he's like an afro because he can't get the barbers. Like, looks really good though. He's unique style, like, and I think it's good. And oh Jesus, there's another ginger fucker over there.
Where do you think he's wearing the hat?
You're better off with a bad club, I'd say. We have a sparrow, we sort out later on.
Oh God.
Straight road. But no, I think like Niall O'Connor's a good fighter, and another fella there up and coming in the gym as well, Reece Moran, his name is. He's from Waterford, tall super. He's 6'3", he's super middleweight. You know, he's got good height, and being a left-hander as well is more awkward to deal with, like, so he could do well. And we have a guy, lovely, very nice story, you know, this fella, he's trying to get his paper sorted out now, he's in Venezuela. Jesus is his name. One of the hardest workers in the gym, he trains hard, and I'm rooting for him too. I hope he gets his, his paperwork sorted out so he can travel and stuff, like, he's like us, I don't know, he's an asylum seeker, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, but like, he's a very nice fella, like, and I just, I've got to know him now very well, like, and he's sound out, like, you know, some people look down upon asylum seekers and all that, like, or, you know,
that's
different
ridiculous.
races and all that, like, I don't, like, I think everyone's the same, like.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty much like yourself in that sense, believing that everybody deserves an opportunity to be their best version of themselves and be able to work and provide a living for themselves and their family, no matter where they're from, or what country they're from.
And isn't great as well? Boxing is probably one of the few sports that's universal, like, in every country in the world with boxers, you know.
Our gym now in Dublin is brilliant, like, the Kilgore gym. you know, it's like I don't know, a multinational gym. We've a couple of Romanian guys. They're fucking so no, like you know, I've actually been learning a bit of Romanian actually because I've got two good friends in Cork, Romanian. I've actually got another friend actually in Kinsale, he's Romanian chef, and two other friends there in Cork that I hang around with all the time. They're people I see most frequently actually. And the boys actually, and the gym are all sound like, and the Venezuelan fellas, man, like, and they're all very hard workers, like.
What's that Venezuelan guy, Jorge Linares?
Oh yeah, he's unbelievable. He's
Yeah.
unbelievable. Jeez, there's been some unbelievable Venezuelan fighters. I can't remember now. Jesus sent the guy into the group there. He's one of the most ferocious fighters of all time. But he done something crazy in the end. I think, I don't know, he done something bad anyway. Like I think very bad. Like, but he was undefeated world champion. He's battered everyone. He was about 20. He was started slaughtering everyone. Like he was violent, unbelievably violent. Yeah. But I can't remember his name. But I never heard of him until Jesus put him into the group. Like
probably took the violence outside the ring.
He did. I think he. Do you know what? No, I can't fully recall the story, but he done something very bad. I think he might have killed a few people or something. I'm not sure. I think it was a fucking. I think I remember looking back at the thing. It was a bad thing anyway. Yeah. At the time, like you know, it was a bit disappointing. Like you know,
just goes to show too about people that really have tough lives. They have a lot of anger stored with them. When they get into a ring, they leave that anger out, and they become superior. Really, they become big names in that sport because of that violence.
Yeah, Mike Tyson's a bit like that. But I actually met Mike there a couple of years ago, and he's actually like he's a great, nice guy to be around now. Like very nice.
There's a documentary on Sky at the moment, Bruno and Tyson.
Larry said that to me. Actually, it must like
I watched it. It's very good. It's more around. It's an English documentary. It's more around Frank Bruno. Frank Bruno seems like a gentleman.
Big time. But I met him as well, and I talked to him frequently actually, on social media privately.
But you know, like, do you know what he reminds me of?
He's lovely, man.
Do you know him? Like he was at elite level, but Mike Tyson was an obstacle he couldn't overcome. It made me, and it was to his detriment in the end. He couldn't let that go. It was, it really impacted him even after he retired. Yeah. A similar thing with Ricky Hatton coming up against Mayweather and Pacquiao, just kind of not being able to, and really destroying him afterwards, you know. And like, I hope that if you don't become the world champion, but you could become the world champion, it's not like there's a very real possibility that you could, but if you don't, that you're able to accept that too. You know?
I will accept it. I've no problem. I could probably walk away now, like from boxing. Like
it's important.
I've had a great career. I've had a great time.
Like to get out of it with your marbles intact, your mental health, your physical health, everything is intact. You have your house bought, your car. Not everybody does that. You know what I mean? And that's so important. You know?
As I say, I could never see it happening to you.
No, I could walk away now. To be honest with it, like I'm good. I'm good, like you know, and I'm grand, like.
But you're not finished either.
I'm not finished. I still do believe I will become world champion. But I'm happy. I'm content enough. I can walk away now, like at this moment. You know, and I'm grand, like. If I could work in, I don't even insult and say, and I'll work in such places. I work anywhere. I can give a shit, like. Do you know, it doesn't bother me. Like,
it comes with life as well, and experience in life. That humility. Yeah, being humbled by anything, it doesn't matter. You'll be able to do whatever you need to do to provide for yourself and your family. You know, that's great. That's a man.
Yeah,
I'd say it's easy. It's easy to get swept. It's easy to not keep your feet on the ground when you're fucking knocking out fellas all the time. And
it's very easy to me. It comes very easy to me. But I just I don't think it's
just your nature.
I don't think it's very great. I don't think it's great. I don't feel any greater for it or anything like that. Like I feel grand, like it's grand, like you know.
Fair play.
Well, I hope the next time.
It's just kind of I kind of enjoy doing it. I like getting the money to provide for my family, and so that's great. Like it's good, but you know, like
I would have loved to have been a boxer. Like.
Yeah, do you know what?
I would have fucking loved to have been inside in the ring just because I had that raw aggression, anger as well growing up, and I would have been fairly mad, violent as well.
Yeah.
But I would have loved to have been able to pick it up at a young age.
And channel the aggression.
And channel it and used it. And because I would have done a white collar thing there a while back. I got beat as well. I got beat by points by a different guy. But I enjoyed it, and you know what? I would have loved to have been in some form of contact sport like that. Boxing was one, soccer was one, rugby was another
Yeah,
one.
it's great
I would
sports,
have
like,
loved
yeah.
to have been an UFC fighter because I always believed like that I had this kind of warrior kind of in a previous life. Or else it was just the survival that I had to do in this life, the warrior, the gladiator, just to get me through my own struggles as a young person and in my teens and then my adult life, trying to get through addiction and different stuff that went on in my life, But
I think you have the physical attributes for a combat person, don't you?
Strong like a man to me, yeah. Very strong looking. Like, geez, my boxing was never fueled by aggression. Like, like say Mike Tyson, one of these now. Like, I need to keep calm, and conserve my energy. That's where I need to be. And just, I never boxed through for hatred or violence. I boxed for love, to provide for my family. Like, I want to win to get money for them, to provide for them. That's all I have no intention to hurt my opponent. I just want to win the fight.
That's unreal.
That's it. And I wish my opponent the best, and I never want to hurt them badly. Like, you obviously have to hurt them a bit to win the fight. Like, but not. I wish I wouldn't cut him if I could, and just knock him, whatever. Like, you know what I mean?
Just do what you had to do.
No, like, I'd always obviously have to try and knock him out to win the fight, like, rather than win around, tap around on the points, like, but
No bad blood.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No.
I've one more question.
I've one more question for Timmy there.
Go for it.
So, when you had your white collar fight, I've had this conversation with many people, and lots of my friends. They like fantasize about being a boxer, and they said, I would love to fight. And I said, like, the white collar experience. So I said the adrenaline was incredible. Pre-fight, was it? Do you remember that?
It was just, I was mad. I was trying to focus. I was going into the ring, and there was a crowd there, and obviously, we were doing it for charity, and cause and whatever. But it's just, I had everything going in there, but no technical skills. Like, I know what I was able to do if I was fighting on the street. You to look after yourself. But going in there is different. It's a different story. Yeah. And I had none of what I needed in that ring. The technical side.
The muscles.
And I got gassed out as well because.
Yeah.
And the guy I was fighting was he was a boxer. He was from a club, but I was just a lot bigger. And I had to fight against him. But
because if you see it, these YouTube fiends now fighting, the recent one there,
Jake Paul, is it?
One fella had the fundamentals and the other fella didn't. And it doesn't matter, that's a very, the fundamentals to boxing, and I'm not a boxer, but if once you have the fundamentals, you're way more of an advantage as the fella that throws, you know what I mean?
Doesn't make sense. I can't believe they made you fight a boxer, that's ridiculous. But do you know, what I wanted more alluding to was how you felt. Do you feel like you gassed out because of the anxiety, the pre-fight, were you nervous? Nervous of losing and
that was a big thing as well. I wanted, I wanted to win.
Yeah.
Like everybody else that was there on the night. But you know what? I also took the loss. Like, for me to lose something like that, coming from where I've came from in my own life, that was a major step for me, because of who I was before, and and to be able to accept that and feel it and look at how I was feeling after it, and the ego saying, this and that. I was able to say, it's okay. You don't have to win everything.
Good for you.
I enjoyed it. Everybody around me enjoyed it. I really had a good night.
Yeah, do you know what?
Until my wife got too drunk and I had to bring her home for her to bed.
You're plenty strong enough to bring her. Do you know, I always say to my daughter, it's like anything in life. I think I was speaking to someone about this earlier. You just try your best, in anything you do, and that's all one can expect of you in any situation. Just try your best, and that's it,
and feel the fear, and just do it anyway.
That's it. Just do it, and if you try your best, that's it,
That's two very, very good bits of advice. Feel the fear and do it anyway, and just try your best, and that's it.
What else what more can one expect of you? All you can ever do in anything is your best, and that's it. And if your best isn't good enough, it's not. And
I suppose when you put too much on it yourself and give nobody else is going to put the pressure on you, but it's the amount of pressure you put on yourself. We have to understand and learn, don't be killing yourself, try your best, and do what you can, and that took me a long, long time to figure out. You know, because I would have had that perfectionist nature as well, even in college and stuff like that. And nowadays it's just, do your best, and if you give it as much effort as you always has, without the anxiety behind it, saying you have to do this and do, you know.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
That's a good point to me, yeah.
But one thing I want to ask you before you finish, who's your top 3 boxers of all time?
Jeez, such a hard question. Bloody hell.
I give you 5, so top 5.
Oh, jeez. Myself, obviously.
Except for yourself.
Not. Oh, jeez, Evander Holyfield, I really liked him. Actually, got to meet him in New York when I was fighting there in Madison Square Garden. Actually, 6 years ago today. Actually, I was in New York.
Oh, go back.
Preparing for the fight. Yeah, funny enough. I was a big fan of his. Like,
Interesting.
I could picture now like getting a notification on my phone this day 6 years ago, and there you are with fucking Evander Holyfield. They're great memories.
Unreal. Yeah, unbelievable. I don't have that system on my phone. I'm used to technology, really, to be honest. A few of my friends actually sent it on to me. They're like, picture there of you outside Madison Square Garden 6 years ago. I didn't even know it myself. But yeah, he's unbelievable. Like, there's so many. Ray Leonard, like, was unreal. My own man there, my promoter De La Hoya, like, he was unbelievable as well. Like, class, like, he was actually talked that I might be fighting him there. Actually, in fact, you know,
did I hear him on about making a comeback?
He's making a comeback. Yeah, he's in training. He's like, you know, but I'm actually the second favourite in the bookmakers to fight him. Like, and I think it could happen. You know,
even though you're saying that he's
Oscar De La Hoya doesn't matter.
He's making a comeback.
Yeah.
Really?
There's a lot of people don't like him. What's he like in?
I like him. Yeah, he's nice. Yeah,
He was one of the best technical boxers.
he was unbelievable.
He was unlucky.
Six-way world champion.
He was unlucky against Mayweather, wasn't
he? Was.
Yeah.
Some people dispute that they thought he won the fight. Like,
definitely.
You know, so
Are you still signed with
I'm still signed with Golden by it. Yeah, I probably will be for the rest of my career. Like, I have a great working relationship with them. Like, you know,
That's fantastic, Spike. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's great. Like,
And it'd be great. Imagine going into the ring to actually fight.
Yeah.
Somebody like
legend.
But like we're professionals, and we'd have a fight. Like, I'm sure we'd probably have a drink after the fight. Like, there'd be no hard feelings.
Yeah.
Whoever wins, like, that's the truth. But there'd be none from my side anyway. If he beat me, or you know, I'd be going to beat him. Like, I'd go to beat him, of course. Like, you know, every fight, I'd always go to win. But you know, that's, and I'm pretty sure he'd be the same. You know, he's a nice guy.
What about, like, would you be interested in an MMA? Somebody from MMA coming over, or a YouTuber? Does any of that? If the money was right, would you do it?
I'm not sure. To be honest, like, you know, there was talk I was going to fight a bare knuckle fight kind of a thing. BKB there in Vegas. A good few years ago, I had fuck all money at the time, and I told him, like, I said, I'll have it. Like, Pascal actually rang me, he said, will you fight your man there in the bare knuckle? I said, I will, yeah. And I'd say I'd be quite good at it now, to be honest. Like, I hit very hard, and I'm fairly tough now, like, actually. And you know, I'm fairly hard now, like, I'd have the fight alright.
And you can bring your 3 skills as well into the box, you know.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at that, but fuck it, I don't think so, no.
No, you don't need to know anyway.
I don't need to, no, I don't. I probably, unless they said, look, here's fucking 3 million there.
Yeah,
I'd say, okay, I'll have it there and jump down after one round.
I've gone yonder, girl.
I know. What YouTuber will we get for Timmy?
500 euros would be grand.
Timmy and Joe. Stop. But look, Spike, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I hope the next time you're on the podcast, you'll have a belt with you.
I'd say I will, actually. I have a feeling I will. I have a few up there at home, actually.
I can see it here now. Yeah, I can see it.
WBC or IBF or WBA or whatever. You know, I wish you the best of luck for the future.
Any of them will do.
Yeah, any of them will do exactly. You just want to be world champion. And when that happens, come back on the podcast. And until then, best of luck with everything, bye. Thanks a million.
Thanks, Mike. Cheers, pal.
I'll cut that out. Thanks a million to me.
Thanks,
Rowan. And thanks to everybody that watches. And we'll see you all again next week. Take care.